Megan's with us for the first few stories. It is in a major bombshell that broke at the end of last weekend. Sportico first reported that Michael Andretti plans to give up his ownership stake at Andretti Global. Now, this comes less than a year after Group 1001 CEO Dan Towdress bought a stake in the ownership group at Andretti Global. Now, a news story that has sent shockwaves across the motorsport world. The team sent a statement to Sportico explaining that Michael Andretti is transitioning to a more strategic role with the team and stepping away from day-to-day operations. Now, at the end of that statement, Andretti Global promised to share more news in the coming weeks. Oddly enough, Sportico is owned by the Penske Media Corporation, which is owned by Roger Penske's son, Jay Penske. Jay Penske, of course, is in Formula E. Roger, of course, owns IndyCar. Now, in an interview with Jenna Fryer from the Associated Press, Michael Andretti put two rumours to bed. He said his business partner, Dan Towers, didn't take Andretti Global away from him, and Penske Entertainment didn't force him out of the ownership after openly criticising Roger Penske's ownership of the Entity IndyCar series. Now, Andretti admitted that this has been in the works for several months now and felt the timing was right for him to take a step back. Both Sportico and AP articles are in the video description below, and the photo taken by Paul Hurley from Penske Entertainment. Megan, you were questioning me when I was reading out that part of the script. So before I answer the question, what were you grinning about?
It sounds like there's something more to this. I mean, so many other names getting involved in that one particular thing. There's something more to that.
Yeah, there is something.
They're not saying it, and they probably never will say it. This probably won't come out until like 20 years from now, like it usually does in like a book or something. But there's something more to that decision there.
Do you reckon that even though they've denied that he was being sort of forced out,
if someone has to deny it, then
there's a rumor to the fans.
Yeah, it's got some credit to it.
But like in our second story, we're going on to about Danny Ricciardo and news around the Spanish Grand Prix. Yeah, it did. But what with Michael Andretti now confirming this story that he is departing day-to-day roles, what does it mean for Andretti Global as a whole across their multiple racing networks? Of course, in IndyCar, they've got it in Formula E. They're coming into Formula One, They've got World Endurance with IMSA Technics. What do you think is now going to be their big goal, losing their main head honcho?
Well, I think it'll give them a lot more opportunities, and I think that it'll also give a lot more opportunity to explore the F1 opportunity they've been looking at for a couple of years now, I feel.
Yeah, the new base in Silverstone might also help the fact as well, because the reconstructioning going on now at Andretti Global's ownership also brings into question the future, as Megan said, of its Formula One ambitions with Cadillac. Now, we know that F1 kind of stonewalled Andretti and essentially blocked them from entering Formula One. Then they responded in an aggressive way by having Mario Andretti go to Congress and ask them to investigate the owners of Formula One Liberty Media. In August, we learned that the US Department of Justice opened an investigation into Liberty Media for potentially violating antitrust law by blocking Andretti's entry onto the grid. Megan, just before I get into that, you're studying law and you're very much into it as well. You studied law, I must admit, as well. But in your experience, would there be a case there that it was right for Mario Andretti to go to Congress and say, look, this is a bit wrong?
American and British law are very, very different, vastly. But from my understanding of American law, there might be a tiny case about that. But from my very weak understanding, no one come at me for this, because I know British law. I do not know American law. I know a tiny bit of American law. But I think there is a slight case, but for some reason, I'm not sure. My gut tells me it would not hold up.
Yeah. So it's just a shouty thing to make the Farm and Liberty Media go, oh, okay, they're trying to do this.
It's like pay attention to me, otherwise we will find more stuff on you. Because there is more stuff.
Definitely the Liberty Media coming involved as well.
There's always more stuff.
Yeah, well, Mario Andretti even said that Liberty Media CEO Greg Maffei promised to do everything in his power to make sure Andretti never got into Formula One. With that critical statement that Mario has said, that the Liberty Media CEO has said to him and promised his power to never get into Formula One. Is that something that you can use in the world of law if it's just a verbal communication, that it's nothing that's been recorded, it's nothing been documented, it's just he say?
If it's been documented, then yes, that can be used in a court of law. But
Verbal?
if it's hearsay, it'll be dismissed.
Okay.
Because you've got no proof of it. There's no admissible evidence.
The basis of Amber Heard's trial suddenly
Yes.
refers back to my mind as well. Now, according to the AP article that is in the video description, Andretti and Taurus didn't discuss what the ownership shakeup means for their F1 ambitions. Taurus said he doesn't see himself running day-to-day operations at Andretti Global and will likely keep the current leadership team in place. Now, that leaves the question, if Michael Andretti is taking a step back from day-to-day operations at Taurus, isn't going to do it, then who will? Interestingly enough, Jenny Fry shared a legal document showing that someone named Zachary C. Brown resigned from his position on the board of directors at Andretti as well. Now that is McLaren CEO Zach Brown. So where did that come from? But coming in, because that broke.
Is he just collecting teams now?
He's collecting teams, he's collecting drivers, he's everywhere. But
he's just in competition with Lawrence Stroll, just saying, like, do you know what? I can have two.
But could, as you've not my microphone there, could that, is my mic, yeah, mine's still on. I just had to check.
If not, you can have mine.
I think you've had, no, mine's still on. I don't know if it was. No.
Hello?
Mine's dead. She's broke my microphone. She's broken my microphone. I don't believe that. So I'm going to have to borrow yours. You've literally, check. Yeah, you broke the lead.
Hello?
She's broken the lead. Okay.
All I did was slightly...
Well, Megan's broken the lead. So I'm now down to one. It's a good thing you're going in a minute, so I'll have to share, Mike. But is it a thing now for Zach Brown, who has now really had his fingers in two pies, because he's head of CEO of McLaren, of course. He runs that package. But now he's also been involved with Andretti, and could have been around the time when they had their bid going in. So would FOM kind of look at that and go, Zach, you might be a bit dodgy there with what he's done?
Yes.
Just a bit.
Just yes. They're going to look at that and think it's like, that doesn't look totally normal. Just like, there's another page to be turned.
She's buying me a new lead, by the way, after this. So could the change at the top of Andretti Global convince Formula One to let them onto the grid? Now, that's assuming, of course, that Andretti still want to come into the pinnacle of motorsport. Would you see them getting onto the grid eventually?
Yes.
Oh, when? 2026 or 2028?
My mind says 8. Just let the other let at least one team die down a lot first. And I think we all know that team will probably be Sauber.
Or Alpine, as it comes into it as well. Now, my microphone started working again, so that's good news.
It just needed time to recuperate.
It needed you to stay away from it as well, from hitting it as well.
I don't have to buy you a new lead.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll keep on to that. We've got another segment to go yet.